recording, and we will put it up online. So if you want to post anything, or you want to go back and refer to anything, or for sure, always you can follow up with us with any questions that you have anytime. So you can email or give us a call. All right, and so yeah, so just for those just coming on, welcome. And we are, I've muted you, and so just trying to encourage you to use the chat box to make sure that you can hear me or let us know if you have any computer issues, and then also for questions. So take a minute to kind of find the chat box and find a way to share your questions with us. All right, so this webinar today is about our certification program. So C-NRPP, an update on some of the things that we have been working on here with the certification program. The first thing is just one of the major changes we've made this year was we took a look at our structure, and we took a look at some of the issues and the questions that we've been getting from our CARST members and our certified professionals, and we wanted to really simplify things for people. And so we took a look and we developed this organizational structure diagram to help everybody kind of figure out how all the different organizations work together. And so CARST really is our incorporated nonprofit organization, and the certification program, C-NRPP, is developed through a memorandum of understanding between Health Canada and CARST, and that's how we develop the certification program. And so to ensure some impartiality, we also set up a policy advisory board. So CARST has a board of directors, but the certification program has an independent policy advisory board. There is a liaison from Health Canada that sits on that board, and then there's also a liaison from CARST, board of directors, that sits on that board. And then there are a number of professionals who are in the radon industry, either certified mitigation professionals, certified measurement professionals. We also have a representative from a device manufacturer, and the chamber, and other related industries. So we've got a real estate professional that sits on that board, and a member of the Home Building Association as well. That's on it. Yeah, I'll just get you to mute. Thanks. All right, and so then we also reduced the memberships. So we aligned and added the CARST membership on to all of our certification memberships, and we dropped the annual fee from $200 to $75. We set a renewal date or a fee date of July 1st. So every year the fees will be due July 1st, and every 2 years our certified professionals will have to submit credits and an application to renew their certification. This way it provides a clear method of getting everybody on and renewed. Also that standard date helps us with gearing up our certified or our credits to make sure that we kind of put on a push in the spring to help people with finding ways to get credits, and then also it gives all of our certified professionals access to the benefits of the CARST membership. So I'll talk a little bit more about those later. Another thing that we did, or we are in the process of doing, is reviewing the ISO standard for accreditation programs and making sure that the C-NRPP meets the best practices in the industry. And so that's one of the other things that we're working on, and some of the issues or some of the projects that we're working on this year is in response to that. That's going to be a long process, so that will be something that we'll be working on over the next couple of years. One of the other things I get most questions about is the insurance coverage. This was an initiative that we added on last year, but I'm still getting coverage or questions from professionals, so I thought we'd quickly review again. And we also had, so this is a requirement for our mitigation professionals. It's a recommendation for all of our other certified professionals. We did have a lawyer come this year and do an evaluation of all radon in industry liabilities across the country. And he did, one of his points was he did point out the issue with insurance coverages. And as we were going in and digging into insurance ourselves, we recognized this early on, that a number of the coverages that professionals were purchasing didn't actually provide them adequate insurance, partly because they didn't understand the product, but mostly because of the exclusions in the wording. So you've got to watch for exclusions such as contamination, pollution, radioactivity, naturally occurring material, which all may affect whether or not you are actually getting the coverage that you think you're paying for. And so this is why we set some of these requirements and specifics to sort of call out the coverage that you do need. And so we've detailed the coverage there: 2 million commercial general liability, 2 million mitigation errors and emissions. There's other coverage that you may want to include. We've just simply said, okay, look, these are our minimum requirements that we think all professionals should have, but you can go over and above it. You can purchase your own insurance package, or you may have an existing package, so you may just need to go and make sure you've got the coverage added. Or you can contact us and we can provide you some insurance professionals that are currently providing coverage for others. So another thing we really discovered was that the insurance companies don't have any clue about radon, and radiation makes them nervous. And so we've been working really hard. I've spent a lot of hours on this over the last year, working and trying to educate insurance companies. If you have an insurance company that you're really happy with, I would love to have their name. Or if you have a company that you really like to deal with, but they don't have any idea about how to help you, I can also work with them. It's been a great way to educate insurance companies across the country and talk to them about radon, personally get them engaged, but also roll it out. So feel free to send me, contact me for help, but then also send me your recommendations. Since adding this as a requirement, we have seen prices greatly reduced. Some in half. One coverage went from 1,000 or 10,000 down to 2,000. So, so we really have seen some really positive moves in this since starting it. We have been investigating a group policy. To date, we don't have anything in place. I'm not sure if this is ever going to be something that we do. It looks, we thought maybe we could get a better rate if we did this, but so far we're not getting a better rate. It looks like people can get a better rate on their own. But again, we do have some contacts and to share with you. Another project that we've been working on over the last couple of years to make sure that we have in place is a method of complaint process. This helps both our professionals and our homeowners and of course our industry. And so when we developed our complaint process, these are some of the things that we wanted to keep in mind. We wanted something that ensures our C-NRPP professionals are providing quality services. We also wanted a way to support our professionals. So it does provide a way that we support our professionals when we get a complaint from a homeowner saying, we take a look and make sure and say, you know what, they are acting within protocols and standards, and so we back you up when you are meeting the standards. When we see an issue that needs to be addressed where our professionals aren't meeting our standards, then we look at ways that we can provide mentorship. And so this has been a really big focus this year as well. How can we mentor professionals and make sure that they are meeting our standards? And then, of course, we do need a method to protect all of you and your reputation with the certification program. And so for those who aren't meeting our standards, we need a way to uphold everyone to that. So the process on the bottom is spelled out. So first of all, a homeowner files a complaint, and then we investigate. So there is a page on the website under homeowners that details for a homeowner how they can go about the process. Then we investigate it. We do attempt to get the homeowner to deal directly with the professional if possible. So we do kind of prefer that if they can deal with it internally, that they come back to you first for resolution. But then if need be, we do have an ethics committee that would review the complaint and then provide recommendations. All right, and so another thing that we get the most questions about is renewals. And so we really have wanted to develop resources for you and make this process easy and assist you with getting your renewals done. So I mean, I talked earlier about the ISO standard for accreditation, and this definitely is one best practice, so that if we're going to have a set standard for industries, that there would be a professional development component to our certification process. And so we have developed a video, and I'll show you in a minute how to access that. That details a little bit. I think it's a 5-minute video that I went into all the aspects and all the questions that we get on renewals. But just to briefly explain our professional development program, you need 20 credits every 2 years. 4 of those credits need to come specifically from C-NRPP approved courses. There are a couple courses online that are available. And there are, of course, every year at our CARST conference, the Sunday is always dedicated towards these courses. And the Saturday now is a field trip day that also provides you with these courses. And we are reaching out to our trainers and different organizations, asking them to provide more courses. So we do hope to have more online courses available over the next year. After that, then the rest of the credits, 16 credits, must come from the following 2 categories. And so if you're trying to figure out what you've been doing and how to get those credits, 1 hour equals 1 credit. So things that if you're doing community outreach or radon awareness, you can get a credit for any of this type of thing. Professional development, so many of you are cross-certified. If you're taking other courses, even other, personal course, maybe you took a self-help course or an anti-stress course or maybe a bookkeeping course, any of that kind of thing. We figure if you're trying to improve yourself, this is improving you as a professional, so we will give you credit for those. Radon industry participation, so we do have committees and surveys that we will be conducting. We will be conducting a number of surveys over the next year. And we'd really like your support with this, both either in filling it out, so we will have a survey to check in with you to find out how we can improve, what sorts of questions you have, any issues. So we'll be doing that survey over the next couple months. We also are surveying homeowners, finding out, how are they finding out about mitigation? How can we encourage them to move to mitigation? And so that's a real focus that we want to put some attention on this coming year. And so we'll need your help with that and rolling that out to your customers. And so we will give you some professional development credits for that. Also, we're doing a survey on mitigation types. And so we do have a survey, which I'll talk a little bit about, that we've been gathering data from our professionals, and we're giving credits for that as well. And then just as a side note, for those who aren't renewing, we're doing a follow-up survey to figure out what challenges are out there and why our professionals aren't renewing. So I'm going to flip over to the website right now, and here's the home page. And under the professionals tab, so I'm just going to quickly show you, this is the homeowner tab. We've put some information in here that's supposed to be a resource for homeowners, and the complaint process is here. On the professional tab, the top part of this list is for people who are interested in getting into the industry, and the bottom part really is for those who are already in the industry and helping you. So under maintaining certification, if you click there, it'll take you to a page, and that's where you can access this video. We've got some quick steps on how to renew your certification, and then much longer, more detailed steps below. So take a look at that page. We've tried to put lots of information there for you so that you can access it. Yeah, then let us know if you have any other questions on that process. And it's we'll try and make it more available and find out more about how we can simplify it and make the process easier for you. All right, one of the things that we've been doing this year, we've been conducting a survey with our radon professionals. So gathering information about the types of mitigation systems that are being installed, how many are being installed across the country, and how effective they are. And so I thought it would be interesting for you guys to sort of see some of the data that we've collected. So obviously this is not a complete data of all the mitigations across country. This is just data that our professionals have shared with us. And if you're willing to share your data with us, we do have a spreadsheet that we'll email you, and we'll give you 2 credits for completing that spreadsheet and sharing your data with us. And that you can also, for renewals, you can use hands-on credits. So that if sharing that data with us already kind of completes some of that, because now we know you've been doing mitigations, and so you can get credits for those ongoing mitigations. So you can see here, by far, what we're seeing the mitigation types is the active soil depressurization, or the subslab depressurization systems. And we're seeing some rough-in systems and, you know, both residential and schools information. So there's a little bit of details about the types of systems we are seeing. The radon mitigation data by province really, I think, mostly shows you who's sharing their data with us. So we're seeing most come from the New Brunswick provinces. I don't think this is indicative of which provinces have the most mitigations, but just of who's sharing the data with us. And then, of course, one of the most important things that we really like to see is how effective the mitigation systems are. And so we are seeing that they are really quite effective. I didn't include this information in this, as a link to this, but Health Canada also has a really good survey where they've done shown that active soil depressurization is the most effective mitigation technique. So if you're interested in that, you can check out their website as well. We've also made it a priority to develop materials for you and for homeowners. So you can't see all the detail on the right, but we've kind of got a little bit of a detailed piece to explain what a mitigation system is. And so we can email that to you. You can print it off. It's a great one-pager. So if you're standing in front of a customer and they just don't understand it, that you can kind of explain it. We've been working on having those available for the rough-in, for above roof discharge and those sorts of things. We started with the sidewall discharge to start somewhere, but we have been also developing them for various types of mitigations. We've got kind of a quick, easy, in the middle here is a little diagram infographic on mitigation systems, and then we have a postcard. And so this we've got printed in both French and English. And so if you want to use those and hand those out at trade shows or homeowners or whatever, let us know. We're sharing those for free. And then we also have developed stickers. So we've got labels that we've developed for radon mitigation systems. There is a way to order those on our website. We're just out of stock right now of one of them, but we're printing more, and then we will have them available also in French and English. I'm also got a project this summer where we're going to be taking these labels out to to the property inspectors across the country. So those, to make sure that our rough-in pipes are properly labeled. So we're hoping to get that in. We definitely have addressed the fact that those rough-in systems are not being understood by homeowners, and so we've got a label that we can hopefully get into every home in the country. All right, and just an update on our device listing process. So right now, we currently list devices according to NRPP's list. So we've list AlphaTrack, CRMs, and electric ion detectors on our list. And so we just basically have grandfathered whatever devices get on the NRPP list are on our list. But we are developing our own list. And we're doing this for a few reasons. One, because NRPP approached us and said they don't want to share their list anymore. And so they've been a great mentor to us, and they've been really open to us. And so they've basically said, this is our list. We think you should develop your own list. And then also, there was a document, an evaluation done of the NRPP a number of years ago, and some feedback from that. So we've read that report. We're trying to take some of those recommendations and make sure that we implement them ourselves. And then also, we've just addressed some growing industry issues with new technology coming out, and so we want to make sure that we're addressing that in a best practice way for both our device manufacturers and our professionals and homeowners. So as part of this process, we have a contractor that's developed specifications for these different types of devices, for CRMs, AlphaTracks, EIDs, which basically are the homeowner electronic integrating devices, as well as electric ion detectors. So contractor has developed specifications and an implementation manual for us. We took all that information and we conducted a webinar with our manufacturers in the fall. And so we had really great engagement from around the world, manufacturers from Sweden and Belgium, France, as well as the US. And so they've given us input, feedback on the process or on our standards that we had developed. And right now we're in the process of conducting research. So the Radon Chamber in Canada, Radiation Safety Institute of Canada's Radon Chamber, is going to be our go-to for doing some type testing and conducting testing on the devices. And so we're in the process of doing research with them to test out our specifications and also test out their chamber to make sure that they've got it up and ready to evaluate devices according to our specifications. So that's the stage of the process that we're in right now. This certainly has been a long process, complicated process, which probably dictates this whole last year. It feels like it's been a long, complicated projects that we've been working on, and this is one of them. The Quality Assurance Manual has been an ongoing project for many years for us. We are now in the final stage. The committee, I was trying to have it finished by the CARST committee, but we had some committee members give a few more updates that we decided to implement. So we've sent it out to the committee for one last review and approval, and we're in just developing the spreadsheets to update our templates to meet the new quality assurance. So we expect that'll be out in the next month, or our meeting will be approved in the next month, and then we'll have it out and we'll email all of our certified professionals to let them know about that. The other document that we've been working on the last year, we addressed the fact that we should have some set standards for short-term measurements in the industry to have consistency, clear process. And so we've developed these all in the mind of the fact that C-NRPP still stands behind the fact that long-term measurements are our recommendation. That is still the process that we recommend to homeowners to base a decision to mitigate. But there are times when short-term testing is conducted, and so we wanted to make sure that we had some process. And then that one too, again, we had tried to get finished for the conference, but we had some last-minute submissions for changes on that, and so we're just in the final stage of revising that, and that one should be out shortly. Also, another major document that has been released this last year in November was the Canadian General Standards for radon mitigation options for existing low-rise residential building. So that is available. I put the link on the bottom of the screen, and I can email that out to you, and it will be posted on our CARST website when we post this webinar. We are evaluating this document and looking at how we're going to update our courses and our protocols to meet the requirements of the document. And so the labeling that we've released, we're in the process of evaluating, making sure it does meet all the requirements stated in the document. The document also recommends a leave behind brochure for homeowners, so we're in the process of developing that as well for you so that you can have something, a resource to use right away. And then also we're developing continuing education courses. So we did have, Colin Dumais did conduct a course at the CARST conference reviewing the standard and comparing it with current our current guidance for mitigation. And we do have a committee that's been struck to evaluate our mitigation certification course for mitigation, and so they will be revising and updating our course and including these things for content in the course, and at the same time developing tools and information for continuing education course for our existing professionals. So you can watch for updates on that in the next year. All right, and then we also want to remind you that we have partnered with Take Action on Radon over the past number of months for this sweepstakes. So we've got the radon reduction sweepstakes. It's a homeowner can win up to $1,000 back on the cost of their mitigation system. So we are seeing entries come in, but reach out to your to your homeowners and let them know about it. Both to encourage them to mitigate, or as a thank you for mitigating with you, that they might want to enter. And so I did take a look at the stats, and so just to increase the competition and maybe encourage some of those provinces that are lagging behind, we're definitely seeing the most engaged group coming from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, with a close second with the British Columbia and Yukon. So we'd like to see more entries coming from Alberta, Atlantic Canada, and Ontario, but all across the country. Take time. We do, and I'll quickly show you that. Well, on the CARST website, we do have a toolkit that we developed to help you with this as well. Okay, some other resources that we've developed that we've talked about in the past. We do have workplace resources, childcare resources developed, so you can find those on the C-NRPP website. You can also email us and we can send you either copies of them or a number of them if you want to hand those out. There is a mitigation fan survey that we did a couple years ago that reviews fans based on the standards that were out at that time, and so we'll be updating that probably in summer of 2019, but you can access that online. The labels are available, and then the mitigation tools that I talked about, and then we do have a mitigation kit with a manometer in it that professionals can rent if they are wanting to try out before they're buying it. We're not trying to be a store for you, but we wanted to make that resource available at an easy, accessible way for our professionals. All right, and then CARST resources. So a number of the CARST resources that we have monthly webinars, and so these have been a resource for you. And then our website also is a good resource. So I'm going to quickly flip to the CARST website and get you to take a look at that. And I'll show you. So if I go to the home page, this is what your page may look like when you first log in. Actually, when you first log in, it'll take you to the For Professional page, so it'll look a little bit more like this. It'll tell you about some upcoming events. And if you go to the members only section, then you'll see a number of resources that we've got there. And so these are some of the things I've talked about today, some of the advertising materials that you can access. Also, the fan specification survey is there and that kind of thing. Then the webinars are here, and so we've got all of our past webinars posted here. Some of them have little tips sheets, so you can find a link on this one side, and then you can access the video there. So you can log in there and find out some of those resources. And then also, you could find out some information about committees, and so you can sign up for those committees as well here. And also, one of the best resources, I think, is we've got a list of documents and research papers online. So we have sorted them by province, so you should be able to click on one of these provinces and it'll jump down and show you kind of some of the documents that we have specifically for that province. But anytime we've found a research paper that we thought would be of value for our professionals, we've put it on this page, and so it will either, if we have permission to host it on our page, then it'll link to the PDF. Otherwise, we've linked you to the website where you can find it. So you can check those out. Then we did try and sort it by topics as well to sort of help, because it got really, it's quite a long list. So you can jump to, or you can just scroll down on this screen and find various documents to help you out. If you know of any links that are wrong here, I check them a couple times a year. I try and go make sure that I check them to make sure they're up to date. But if you find any link that needs to be updated, let me know. And if you have one that you want to share, let us know and we can add that on as well. And I think that's most of the content that I want to go through. I was going to check and see if there's any, if you have any questions. Sorry, I've taken a little bit longer than I've wanted to, but let me know if you have any questions. And we'll take time to go through questions. We also, I'll kind of let you know about another project that we're working on as I'm waiting for questions. We are trying to pool the measurement data across the country, so we're working on contacting all the measurement device manufacturers. We talked to them a little bit about this project, and so it's an ongoing project, so that we would have a way of pooling the data and sort of mapping it, having a way to show some of the stats that we're getting on measurement data. So that's a project that we're working on. And then we also recognize some challenges that we're still seeing. We would really like to increase the homeowner recognition of the certification program, so that'll be something that we focus on this year. And there still are a number of uncertified professionals out there that are doing work that we'd like to address that challenge. All right, Erin, did I miss anything in the resources? Or any questions? I don't see any other questions. I know Steve mentioned the insurance for home inspectors, and yes, the Hub does have a package for their home inspectors, and it does include radon mitigation. So we have, so that's been a good asset. Yes, so the online courses, I should have pointed that out when I went to the website. So if you go to under professionals, just below maintaining certification, there's a list of continuing education courses. And so here's a list of all the ongoing courses that are available. And if it says under course type that it's a home study course, then that's something that you can access online. And so there are a number of online courses that CERTI offers, and a few that Spruce. I do, again, try and go through and make sure I update these links to make sure they're current content as well as useful for our professionals. So that's where you find them. So under professionals on the website, there's continuing education course list. You can find them there. If you want, it's a long list. Sometimes people get overwhelmed. You can also send me a quick email, and we've got kind of a predefined or pre-developed email that we just send to our professionals saying, here's some quick way to get some courses. So you can also send us an email and we can help you with that. All right, and I've, sorry, gone over my half an hour, but we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us. And if you have other future webinar topics that you want to hear about, we would really love to hear about it. Or if you have a presenter, we really would like to partner with other groups. And you have either if you are a presenter and would like to speak on a topic and would want to help us by conducting a webinar, that would be great. Or you know of somebody who would be great, let us know. And we'd love to have different topics for you, for resources for our professionals. So that's it. Thanks very much for joining us today, and keep in touch. We really want to hear from you. Goodbye, and we'll talk with you next month.